into humans. Boom. Look, I'm done. I'm done. I've got a full focus report coming out on this later in the week, but I don't know how to shut up. I don't know how to not freak out. I don't know how to be completely calm here when we're dealing with this, and I apologize for getting a little bit angry here, but I don't apologize. I mean, look at this. This is official Planned Parenthood garbage saying we're going to encourage homosexuality and put it in the water. I mean, right there. Right there. And then they tell the poor people whose numbers are massively increasing, well, this is just how you feel. You should go with it. In fact, I almost forgot. Guys, Google, because it'll be London Guardian. Pentagon wanted to use gay bomb on Iraqis. And see, there's a reason in every culture the men have done the fighting. In a lion pride, the women go out and hunt and get most of the meat. The males walk perimeter around the pride area and attack hyenas and things, and also compete with other males to increase the vigor of the species. And it's the same thing with many species of dolphin. It's the same porpoise. It's the same thing with so many species that the males defend the territory range of the females and the babies. Now, men normally, at a certain point when they're being dominated, will just get violent or will get politically motivated, which is a form of, high-tech violence done through the law when people try to run over them. It's normal. How did land of the free, home of the brave turn into a national flag of an obese guy who's had his testicles chopped off sucking a lollipop? I mean, how did America become a sheep sticking its head in the ground, the ostrich sheep? How did we become this? We became this way through chemical warfare. And so as people wake up to this fact that it's happening, they say, oh, no, 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 don't listen to him. Just go with it. Just go with it. And they do this, and then they have all the messages in the media everywhere pushing, oh, you're not attracted to women. Well, you should do this. People ask, well, how do hormones do this? It affects the endocrine system. It affects the olfactory nerve. It gets into smell. It gets into hormonal triggers. It gets into a whole cornucopia of things. That it's not just the curves of a woman that are supposed to attract a man. It's the smell. Even things you can't consciously pick up. Okay? And so it's the smell of a woman. And for women, it's the scent of a man. That's what this is all about. And so they're messing with that. They're playing games with it. And they're sitting back laughing at us, and then they make it a civil right when you don't want this done to your kids. Oh, the government has a right to put the chemicals in there and then come in and take control of your child when they're confused with the school counselor to make sure they get on a path to never have children. And that is an incredible evil. And that I will expose. Stop bombarding us with hormones. Leave me alone like I naturally am. And then you find out for some of these groups, it is about recruiting. It is about a revolution. It is about domination. It is about those who do not like what is the dominant existing order of life on this planet, overthrowing it in their own image. And that is blasphemous. Even if you don't believe in God, it is blasphemy against the incredible biosphere, against the incredible life forms of this planet, against that amazing balance that is life. It is a bunch of men playing the part of God and jacking with our entire food supply and system. And again, I'm glad that the media attacked me for that simple line about they want to create gender confusion and break up the family, which I just read to you, just some of the proof. We'll have even more coming out later in the week. Because I was really warning women about breast cancer. And so when people flood in here to attack me for being this wicked homophobe because I'm pointing out they're jacking us with these chemicals, I will take the blame, which is great, and then people will learn about the hormones being added that are massively increasing cancers in women, not as much in men, but it's also bad in men. Because that's all I care about. This will save a lot of people, and that's good. CBS News and others don't want you to know about that. You did find the article about U.S. military. Yes, Air Force looked at spray to turn enemy gay. Look at that, London Guardian. When I reported on that, I was attacked, and they said I made that up. This is what's been done. This is what's going on. This is what is happening. They are trying to take our free will away and chemically do this to us and then say that everybody's born this way. There it is. Far from being the product of conspiracy theorists, documents released to a biological weapons watchdog in Austin, Texas confirmed the U.S. military did investigate the idea. Yeah, you notice conspiracy theory because they'd already been attacking me for it and others. So it's just right there. Okay, London Guardian, biggest paper in Europe, not just England. All right, I'm out of time. We're going to go to break, come back with 2 interviews on key subjects. But get this video out to everybody and know later in the week, a big report we put a lot of work into is coming out to expose this. So get it out to everybody you know. Great job to the crew. We'll be right back. If you believe in this information and want to support its viral spread, go to the INFOWARS store at INFOWARS.com. We've got the new G.I. Joe INFOWARS t-shirts. We've got the incredible Pro Pure gravity-fed filters available at INFOWARS.com in the store. We've got a new DVD, Scientists Under Attack, the Don't Tread on Me flag. We've got all sorts of different bumper stickers to help spread the rebellion virally. It's all there, wristbands, citizen rule books in every order. Order online at INFOWARS.com today. The water filters, the canteens, it's all there. INFOWARS.com.
We were brought up loving our country and our Constitution. That in the United States of America, we were free. And that's an attitude that we've tried to instill in our children. I met my wife while in the Air Force. I was a combat pilot in Vietnam. I served in Desert Storm as a commander. When I graduated from the academy, I took the oath of office. And as a commander, I administered that oath to many people. Now I wonder about the understanding people have of our Constitution. And I think about our candidates for President of the United States. It's interesting to see the support Ron Paul gets from the military. And if we think back to the code of conduct and people raising their right hand that they were going to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, why would those same people support in great numbers Ron Paul? I think it's because they know that he supports the Constitution of the United States. It doesn't mean you have to go to war to do it. It means you have to understand what the Constitution is and be a supporter inside of your own country, whether you're in the military or not, of that Constitution and make the United States strong. And Ron Paul does that. That's his feeling, that's his thrust. And that's why if you look at the percentages that support him in the military, it's huge. Why is that? Because they've raised their right hands and they're putting their lives on the line for us here in the United States. And they know that Ron Paul does the same.
Welcome back. It's InfoWars Nightly News. Coming up in the next segment, we're going to talk to InfoWars correspondent Patrick Henningsen from London concerning Iran and the huge destabilization campaign the New World Order is carrying out in the Middle East and North Africa, leading to what many, even mainline journalists, call the beginnings of what could turn into World War III. That's coming up with Patrick Henningsen. But first, because we're getting close to the end of 2011, I wanted to get documentary filmmaker Jason Bermas on with us. He, of course, directed the film that I produced, Invisible Empire, breaking down the history and goals of the New World Order. Absolutely key, seminal film for anybody that wants to have even a basic understanding of how this system works, the system we all live under. And, of course, he was involved in the Loose Change productions, as well as another film I produced, and we'll be getting into that as well, Fabled Enemies. But I wanted to get Jason on to talk about all the crazy news taking place and what he sees coming up in the new year. Jason, great to have you here with us.
Great to be with you, Alex.
We talked about a lot of stuff, and I've got a lot of issues I want to raise, including the one about how they're now fitting bugs with surveillance devices to keep track of the globalist enemies, that is the general population. But out of all the things going on that you're tracking right now, what's number one on your radar screen?
Well, probably today the number one thing on my radar screen is actually what's happening in Iraq. We've had the troop withdrawal, Alex, but it wasn't really a troop withdrawal. We have military personnel there. We have more military contractors there than ever. First, they were Blackwater. Then they were XE Services. And just this month, they changed their name yet again to Academy with an EI at the end. And right on cue, right after the troop withdrawal, what happens? Well, Al-Qaeda strikes again, Alex. And this is fit to basically scare the public into believing in this boogeyman enemy and basically submitting to anything they put forward to us, including more and more out of control TSA personnel on the streets here.
Well, you're right. In fact, you have the LA Times article, 10 years too late, saying TSA, not just for airports anymore. They're going to be at the malls, the highways, grabbing your genitals, grabbing your wife's breast, all part of basic slave training. But look at Al-Qaeda. They admit there's 4 groups of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. They're using them to attack Iran while separately blaming Iran for 9/11. You've got Al-Qaeda being given control of Libya, Al-Qaeda being shipped in on top of it into Syria. This is all on record. So, I mean, Al-Qaeda created by the CIA to fight the Russians, to attack the Serbs. I mean, it's like a skeleton key, a Rosetta Stone. They use them for everything. How dumb do they think we are?
Well, basically, they think we're extremely dumb. They think that they can put the public into a state of fear where we just go along with anything they say. And they have been beating the drums against Iran on an unprecedented level over the last 6 months. And just as you said, they're now blaming them for the 9/11 attacks. Of course, Iran has refuted this, and this is all coming into play at the same time that Iran is outing CIA spies in their country and even putting one of them on trial, Alex.
Let me bring this up to you because I don't want to just glaze over this key point you've brought up. Al-Qaeda takes credit for the bombs that have gone off. That wasn't hard to predict. We said as soon as the, quote, regular military pulls out, you're going to see Al-Qaeda attacks. So there's a pretext to say, oh, see, we need you. And now they're talking about breaking the country up into 3 different parts. I mean, it really is amazing that this is happening. It's always been the plan. Since before the war, we broke it down to partition the country into 3 parts. Jason, they're now doing it again. And they think that we're so stupid. I mean, they've built dozens of these giant embassies where, as you pointed out, there's 100-something thousand mercenaries. And so supposedly it's not an occupied country. It's not a war if the official U.S. military minimum wage people are gone and if it's all these mercenaries coming in. I mean, this is just shows a new level of psyop where people think the war is over and it's still going on.
And it's also coming at a very convenient time to bring home military when the NDAA bill only needs to be signed by our president. It's gone through the House. It went through the Senate. It was then approved by the House again, and now we're just waiting for it to be penned by Barack Obama. And remember, the White House postured and said, oh, we're never going to sign this. As soon as it was agreed upon, of course we're going to sign it. And isn't it convenient that we're having all of these military personnel come home at a time when they are actually starting to build and man FEMA camps through what? Military contractor Kellogg Brown and Root, a subsidiary of Halliburton.
You know, Jason, we get attacked over the years for reading globalist documents, for being obsessed with reality. We're the bad guys. We told people there'd be a global economic implosion based on derivatives, that the very mega banks that sold all this fraud would hold the world captive and create a new bank of the world that we'd pay our VAT and carbon taxes to. Now it's admitted. They say global authoritarianism is here, run by banks, but even The Economist says that's a good thing. So we've been right.